I had myself muted that entire time. I got to share with y'all real quick. This is going to be a commission painting that I'm working on. I'll just show it to y'all here real quick. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a marriage painting or a wedding photo, so to speak, a portrait. And I'll be working on this for the next couple hours. Feel free to come in and comment if you want to, but you don't need to feel obligated. I will be working on this for the next 2 hours. Well, maybe about an hour and a half. Without further ado, I'm going to start gridding it in, getting it all spaced out, so that I can get all the proportions correct. And if y'all feel like it, jump in. Just draw something, paint something. Be kind and courteous to each other in the comments. Let's put right here. Yeah, I've been busy. Been very, very busy. Haven't been able to do a whole lot of painting like I would have liked. Good night. But it's good to see you. This whole thing is going to be on YouTube, so feel free to go over to YouTube and watch it from there, or just watch it from here, however you like. All right, the first line of business is to get. I'm going to see if I can scoot this over a little bit more so that y'all can see it. Is I have some grid lines in the middle that I just sketched in. I'm going to get all the basic shapes in there and just get out all the big forms. I'm not too concerned with the background as much, but the big shapes in the foreground are what I'm going to be watching and sketching out. Ooh. While I'm thinking of it, I also have one more device up top. I have an iPad at the very top, time lapsing everything. Yep. Right now I'm drawing in his right pant leg or his left pant leg and his shoe. Just sketching it in. All the basic shapes in there. It's kind of neat just seeing all the basic shapes. They're little shapes of color, so different shades of blue, but they're all shapes. So like there's a little triangle on his pant leg on the left side, and there's a couple of little triangles on the other side where he's got wrinkles. And occasionally you've got little cherry blossoms or flowers that they tossed up in the air that's kind of getting in the way of the picture or in the way of his pants, so you can't really see what's behind it. That's what this is right here. Okay, so that's what I have. Welcome in. One thing I have to comment on is that dress is super stylish. I've never seen one like it. Different countries have different styles, and I like this one. It's Brazilian. Here. One thing that I've noticed about this guy is he's got a really fitted outfit with a lot of good wrinkles in it. Just form fitting. So I'm going to capture these details with very small amounts of detail. I'm not going to be spinning in I'm not going to be spinning in a lot of whole details. I'm going to be capturing big shapes. Kind of like I explained at the beginning. I know it's kind of hard to see from up above, but this is what it looks like. Got his suit, got his tuxedo, got his shoulder, his arm kind of hanging down loosely. It's just hanging out to the side. Goes a little bit further than his pant line. Got a little bit of bushes in between with flowers. He's a really stylish looking gentleman. Looks like he has either a corsage or some sort of flower attached towards the kind of collar area of his jacket, his tux. One thing that you need to watch for whenever you're painting or drawing or sketching, especially if you're trying to get it right, is your angles. I goofed on one of them. They don't have to be perfect, but having those angles right really helps in the long run. This gentleman is pretty well built. So he has some nice curves on his legs, on his shoulders. Very tall, very formlike. Slack a triangle right here. Just under. Capture the essence of his calf right there, back of his calf. Nice little curve where it has sprinkles. I'm doing kind of reference points where different objects or different parts of the painting have lines on them so that I can get the proportions right. Proportions on this case in portraits are very important to me personally. You get the proportions right, everything else kind of falls into place. The sketching becomes easier. Everything else kind of really just aligns a lot better if you can get those proportions right. And human bodies require that. Even though the directions of their bodies are a little bit different, because it looks like they're borderline happy dancing down the aisle. And they're holding hands. So kind of a triangle right here. Some people. Down further, you can see the bush. Right about there. It's got nice little flowers in it. It's very, very difficult to see. And then right next to his left arm, his hand. There's people taking pictures with their phones left and right. It's wonderful. Everybody wanted to capture the moment. There's a couple of different hands just throwing out flowers. It's kind of nice. It's very, very pretty. There's flower petals all over the ground. just going to kind of vaguely get them in there. They don't have to be perfect. What needs to be right is the dresses and the shapes of the guy, the gentleman here who just got married, the groom. So I've got left arm or the right arm holding the flowers. She's got a bouquet in there. It's almost like the Statue of Liberty, holding up a big bouquet of flowers. Let's get about like this tall. We'll say here's our basic shape of the Statue of Liberty flowers bouquet. Got our fingers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 visible. It's kind of hard to see. I could leave that blurry. You can see the indication with thumb. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so it goes about a third of the way. Yep. Shape right there. Shape right there. Get the curvy shape. And you've got another contour right over here. Itty-bitty. Triangle there. Not sure what to make that shape that looks like there. We'll say it's another little contour area. Squiggly. Ooh, goes into another fold. That meets up with the top fold. Now it comes down into another. Flips up. Not that much. Flips up. And curves back in. There we go. That's part of the dress. And that bottom part of the dress. Oh, okay, so it comes out a little bit higher. We'll just put you higher. Then about there is where you meet the shoulder. It's kind of a straighter, almost a contour. It's the bride's head and the neck. Comes out. Its ear. And right this way. Contour and line. That's almost the equivalent of where the neck meets. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lot of fun painting these people's hair, the bride and the grooms in particular, because I'm going to be able to show the highlights that are on the top with almost a golden brown, and then for the gentleman, it looks like a lighter brown. It's very cool in temperature. Oh, but I can't make her as tall as him. She's about that high. That would not have been good. Let's cut that way. But okay, so that dress is actually going to go a lot. Lower. Her head is about the top, so going to be right about here. Right here is about where the head's going to meet. So he's got the shoulder. I'm just going to be marking little points where I see different parts meeting. So you've got the ears are just under his first notch right here. And I'm self-grading at this point. And then right about where his elbow comes is the jawline for the lady. Probably towards the middle of the elbow. I'm going to bounce around a little bit just so this is a technique that you would use to kind of just relax. You don't focus on too many things at one time, or just one thing at one point. You kind of bounce around. Give yourself a little break from everything at once. So over here, I'm focusing on an arm that I'm seeing kind of protruding, holding a camera. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's going to be a kind of contouring. The elbow. Yeah, that's about right. And then she has just like that. Here's the hand. There's a little triangle. There you see your phone. A little bit of hand. Now the next thing I'm kind of looking at is this dress that's right under the elbow. Kind of goes and attaches right towards the middle. A little contour. They start raising their arms as well. Dress kind of comes around. It's a little bit more of an upwards flow. So I can actually take this one and scale it. Just take the rest of that dress and pull it back. There. Yeah. Little contour here. And it goes frilly. Pull it out a little bit more. And it goes really closer to the hand. It goes up, down, up, down, and then up, and connects to the hand. And I'll just take those little triangle shapes, the real thin ones, and kind of connect them up here. Just kind of shade it in. And then later, I will hit them with yellow. It's very pale yellow up until you get towards the side. And then the same applies. Do it once again. I think it's 2 or 3 frillies. Frilly. Frilly shape. These are going to be some nice highlights though. Goes all the way up. It's there. There goes to the side. Hits the guy's knuckle right here. Shadowy part. Almost like a silver. got another frilly that goes up here, kind of disappears into kind of a curvy shape where the shadow meets. Goes across, slightly down, around, just barely, then across. Downward slope. And then once again, right at the tip, this one. This one's kind of more straight edge. Then you got a little bit of shadow that kind of curves into here. With more of the shadows. Just shadow those, shade those in a little bit. And one thing I like about this, it's helping me to kind of relax and learn to paint a lot more of the shadows as opposed to, or paint a lot more of the shapes of color as opposed to painting fine details. So this is actually speeding things up for me, even in the drawing process. So if any of y'all are drawing or painting, paint the big shapes first, or draw the big shapes first. Stress goes back up, kind of meets with this. So I'll just have this. Next thing, there's another dress that's attached, and I'm just kind of drawing the shapes of it. I'm not even going to pay attention to the fact that there's a foot or dress. I'm just kind of taking my ruler and kind of adjusting it to angles to see, okay, so it's at this angle, I'm going to just draw it like that. Or I'm going to draw it at this angle. All the way up until I get to the bride's dress, which is pretty close to halfway point. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to actually bounce back to the bride's dress while I'm thinking about it. So there's the other lady's dress. Kind of get it up and around. And once it hits over this center point, it kind of hooks back. About waist level right there for the lady. She's got a little, almost, I'm not going to say a sash, but it looks like a belt or something at the midsection. Maybe to hold the dress in. The styles are very different from American. I like it. It's very, very much more flowy and frilly. Okay. The next thing is another angle. Just about like that. Yeah, that's about accurate. Right there. Then just over the person's dress. Yeah. But right here, I see shoulder kind of coming down. arm. Get out of here, TikTok. Gotta find YouTube and get rid of it. YouTube is being naughty. There we go. There we go. It's giving me ads. I don't want ads. Wait. Ads. We've got another arm that comes down. Got a little bit of a contour. Kind of goes upwards. Lightly blow it out. Yep. Comes up in a nice curve with contour. Curves upwards. Assuming that's a foam. A little bit closer to up here. Well, so this arm right here, I'm going to let y'all see it a little bit. For this arm right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving it around because I can see there's a point to where it actually looks like it's blending in with this person's, this other person's arm right here. This is almost the armpit of somebody right here. It kind of is supposed to blend in. I put out the elbow a little bit too far, and I'm glad that I caught it. I'm glad that I can see that. There are certain intersection points that have to match. I know I got right down here for the dress, kind of proportionate. So if I can get that, I can get this. So easy fixes. Very easy. And it just looks like it almost blends together. It comes up. And like that. Then it forms almost like, it looks like a batarang shape. Kind of a trapezoid. An abnormal trapezoid. So that's what I'm going to draw in right now. It's got the camera looking shape here. I'm going to kind of draw in the bottom of it. It's not quite straight, it's kind of at an angle. And the great thing about when I go to paint this, I don't have to paint it in detail. I can just paint this in with a lot more blur because what's in the foreground is not what's in focus. Kind of what's in towards the middle ground, further away, is what is in focus. They did whoever the photographer was, props to you. You did a good job at shooting this because the focus was on the bride and the groom, and you kind of caught a little bit of the details, like the little flower petals that are floating down. I'll just give one example for y'all to see. Sorry if you can't see it with the ring light. But that is my reference. And I'd like to say a big thank you to the person who hired me for this. I'm not going to say their name on YouTube until the very, very last moment when it's being delivered. Because there's a few things that we're implementing and creating that are going in tandem with this picture. Okay. Now the next thing, kind of a hip shot. She's doing a little kind of a dancey move. And right over here, just about his mid-thigh level. Mm-hmm. Yep, just under the blazer tip. That's where I start to see kind of a little bit of a hip showing, pushing it up. And the flowy dress. It's really, really pretty. Here we go. And then it comes down into almost like an arrowhead point right there. Kind of contours back up. And I guarantee you that I messed up that angle. Yes! I did. That's a still goes down pretty close to the middle. Let's see here. So it's 1 inch to 1.5. It's about 1/3. 2, 3. So 5 inches. About right here. Yep, there we go. That's a lot better. And a little pointy point right there. Kind of round it off eventually. Yes, right there. Kind of comes back up. Okay, that's an interesting shape to draw. It's kind of like almost a seagull shape. Like if you're doing an M for a seagull, it's very similar. All right, here we go. And it's halfway. Kind of comes straight and sharp right here. It comes out. A little bit sharper right here. Oh. Okay, so these points and these points meet. This one intersects here. We have just a hair of a curve meeting there. Here. And almost a little triangle for shadowing right here. And right down here, you can see where the dress kind of, you can see the back of the inside of it. And just an indication of a foot, maybe. Oh, you can see more folds. Never mind. It'll be fun to paint. Nope, no feet. Just folds. So this shape is going to slightly downwards. Right this way. There. Big fold with the shadow right here that kind of goes all the way up to the thigh. And kind of curves in. Okay, just turned. At the top of the head is right up here. Probably the neck's about right here. Maybe not quite that. Okay, there's the midsection. His midsection probably needs to get raised a little bit. Not much, but just there. Alright, that's going to be a little button. Kind of an angle right there. Angle right up here. Now there's a bicep and arm I'm trying to draw in. Get those flowers just a little bit more. Shape. It's not the thumb looking deal. It's all blurry, but I'm going to keep it a kind of a general shape. Kind of comes over what looks like the flower bouquet. Here's the thumb. Bride. Over here. Now I'm just going to go back to the dress so that I don't get too focused on what's going on over here. Little bracelet deal. It looks like right over here on this phone, there's coming out almost 2/3 of the way up is another arm. And then a finger that you can see it's very, very curvy. And then kind of merging into it is a thumb coming outwards. It comes back into this little bitty part of another part of the hand. Comes back out and down and gotta get that angle right. There we are. There we are. Helps having a ruler. Under here, we've got the phone. The other set phones. Man, they got so many phones. It's kind of hard to tell one from another. I can see like 3, 4, 5 of them. That's why I'm not going to just focus on any of the particular details. I'm going to stay focused on just general lines, curved or not curved, light and dark. Keeping it very simple. Here we go. There's a hairline that goes about to the mid shoulder right here of this lady. It looks like a nose. I'd probably leave that person's face out because I'm not sure 100%. Looks like a nose. I'm not going to be painting just a random nose jutting out. Unless I get time. Right about here. I kind of draw the line. Oh, well, maybe a little bit higher. We'll do a little higher. This lady has a little bit more arm down this way. Okay, it's a 2-to-1. Comes up. It's that kind of this muscle right here. Doesn't have a huge forearm, but it's toned enough to where it has some curvy shape. It curves up almost to the forearm, and then kind of goes into a triangle shape. Ooh, maybe not. Let's see here. Where's considering that? It's just slightly over, so that's about right. And we're going to put you here, here, and here. And we'll put... We're actually going to put you a little bit more curved outwards. A little bit more of an angle. We're going to put you at an angle outwards, too. On that one. Then a slight curve around, and then a finger downwards. And then a thumb. And a thumb right here. Then a phone. Just a bitty phone. Not quite that large of a forearm. Okay. Just below that, we're going to do this real dark elbow looking deal. It's kind of about there. Shadow that one in. And under that, pretty close to the middle, got this balloonish, fluffy dress looking deal. It goes attached to the forearm. So I'm just going to get the general shape in there. That comes out. Curves downwards, slightly inwards. Goes down to the pink dress, which is pink. Here's purple, where I can see that one. And then right here is the other part of the purple. Maybe a little bit curved inwards. A little more. Yeah, closer towards that elbow. Just trying to keep everything in relation to each other. Comes outwards like a knee, then downwards. Oh, well, maybe the dress did reach that far. I just missed it. Or I could just push it out more. Just push it out a little bit more. very, very slim margin. But up like that. Reach about where it reaches right here, where the dress points up. And there's a little, what looks like a square. We'll keep it like that. Because they're kind of lined up. This one, it's going to be a little bit higher. Get pushed back. Then right where I see the shoe, kind of contour. Comes out. Down. Round. Curves up. Up. Slightly down. Round. Then curves back in. There you go. That's a successful boot or polished shoe. Then it's got what looks like reflective pieces right here. So we'll just kind of outline it. We'll take a real quick peek on, just show y'all real quick. This is what we've got so far. It's kind of difficult to see, I know. Just basic general forms. And I'm probably going to have to trim this gentleman way down. Yeah, he's going to get trimmed out a little bit. He's not quite this shapely. There we are. kind of draw a little hand figure right about here. There's a lot of interlocking of hands and fingers. And then right about where the knuckle is right here is where it contacts the shoulder. Kind of curves up, actually, doesn't it? There's a little triangle right there, so I'm just going to draw that in while I'm sealing. It's the dress, makes contact, frills up, flowy, kind of a loopy. Back down, around. Not very much, but just a little bit right there. And then the other piece of the dress kind of comes way up. I have to get that a little bit more contour. There it is. I absolutely love this dress. It looks so cool. It's got a little frill that goes up the one side of the shoulder. The other's kind of sleeveless, but this one side has super frilly. At some point, I'll show y'all. I'll be posting pictures of this on Instagram and Facebook as soon as I get released too. And I'll be posting progress pictures as soon as I get released too. But for right now, y'all are getting the raw footage. And to MH or M, I'm just going to say that. Thank you for hiring me and for the process. For the opportunity to go through this process. There's a lot of little fine details in this, and I love it. And I'm going to be blurring a lot of it out. And I know that the people that you intend it for are going to love it too. All right. For today, I'm going to have to stop until a little bit later tonight. Y'all have a great day. And real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and pray us out. So, Father, thank you for the opportunity to paint and to draw and sketch out everything and get all the proportions correct. Thank you for the opportunity to just rest here after a long day of work and then going back to work. I pray that everybody that watches this just gets to experience your peace, not me, and realize that you are who gives us our inspiration, our strength, our focus. Just bless everybody who sees this. In Jesus' name. Amen. Bless you. Love you all. Bye.